You know that bright yellow spice in your kitchen cabinet? Turmeric. It's been around for thousands of years, but lately it's everywhere. But the big question we're asking today is, can it do more than just make your curry taste good? Could it actually fight a very common, very silent disease that's damaging millions of livers? Okay, let's get into it. We're talking about something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. You'll see it called NAFLD for short. And it's pretty much what it sounds like, a buildup of fat in the liver that has nothing to do with drinking too much alcohol. The tricky part, for most people, there are absolutely no symptoms. It just flies completely under the radar. But don't let that fool you. The scale of this problem is, well, it's massive. Just get a load of this number. Up to 1 in 3 adults in Western countries is thought to have NAFLD. I mean, just stop and think about that. You're out with 2 friends. Odds are, one of you could be dealing with this and not even know it. It's a true silent epidemic, often going hand in hand with things like obesity and type 2 diabetes. And here's why that silence is so dangerous. If it's ignored, NAFLD can get really serious. We're talking about inflammation, leading to fibrosis, which is basically permanent scarring of your liver, and eventually cirrhosis and complete liver failure. In fact, it's now the #2 reason people end up needing a liver transplant. So you can see why finding any kind of effective treatment is a huge deal. So where could a solution possibly come from? Well, this is where we circle right back to turmeric. Scientists have known for a while that it has some powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects in a lab setting. So naturally, they started to ask, could this ancient spice be a modern fix for fatty liver? Okay, pause. Before we go one step further, we have to get one thing crystal clear. Turmeric and curcumin are not the same thing. Turmeric is the whole spice you cook with. Curcumin is the powerful active compound that's inside the turmeric. Think of it like this. Turmeric is the orange, but curcumin is the vitamin C. That difference is going to be absolutely crucial for understanding what the research really shows. With all the health blogs and hype out there, how do we find out what's real? We look at the best evidence available. And for that, we're diving into what's called a systematic review. Basically, some researchers did the hard work of gathering up all the best studies on this topic to see what happens when you look at them all together. And check this out. This shows you just how intense that process is. They started with a huge pool of 100 different studies. From there, they had to be ruthless. They threw out any studies done on animals, any opinion pieces, anything that wasn't a high-quality human trial. After all that filtering, they were left with just 5. That's how you separate real science from all the background noise. So, after all that sifting and sorting, a really fascinating pattern started to emerge. You could even call it a plot twist. And remember that key difference we talked about, turmeric versus curcumin? Well, as it turns out, that was the key to the entire puzzle. This table right here, this tells you everything you need to know. Let's walk through it. See that top row? Those are the 4 studies that used a concentrated curcumin extract. And the results? They saw a significant drop in liver enzymes. Those are markers for liver damage. And they saw real improvement in the amount of fat in the liver on an ultrasound. Now, look at the bottom row. The one single trial that used plain old turmeric powder. Nothing. No difference compared to a sugar pill. Let's just sit with that for a second. In these studies, taking a concentrated curcumin extract seemed to actually calm down liver inflammation and reduce the fat. I mean, that is a really exciting signal. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? That is not the whole story. You know, good science isn't just about finding positive results. It's about being really honest about the limitations. And before we get carried away, the authors of this review pointed out some pretty major issues with these studies that, well, they kind of pumped the brakes on everything. Which leads us to what is honestly the most important question of all. Okay, maybe it reduces some fat and inflammation, but what about the really dangerous part? What about the permanent liver scarring, the fibrosis? And here's the bombshell. Not a single one of those 5 studies even measured what happened to liver scarring. The researchers themselves called this a critical omission. I mean, stopping or reversing the scarring is the entire point of a treatment, and we have 0 data on it? And the problems didn't stop there. All the studies were really small, not a lot of people. They were also very short, mostly just 2 or 3 months long. On top of that, they all used different curcumin products at different doses, and some of the scientific methods they used were a little questionable. All of that just makes the results really fuzzy. So, when you weigh everything, the exciting signals on one side and all these serious weaknesses on the other, what's the final verdict? Where does the science actually stand right now? Well, let's hear it straight from the scientists who wrote the review. They summed it all up perfectly. Here's what they said. Curcumin extract is a promising but not proven treatment for NAFLD, while the role for turmeric is less clear. So if you take one thing away from this whole thing, it should be this. The science hints that concentrated curcumin extracts might have some real potential. But the kitchen spice turmeric powder? Probably not. And even for the extract, the evidence is just way too thin. We desperately need bigger, longer, and much better trials before we can say anything for sure. And that leaves us with this final thought. The journey from an ancient home remedy to a scientifically proven, doctor-prescribed medicine is incredibly long and incredibly difficult. It takes so much time, money, and rigorous science. So maybe the real question isn't just, does it work, but rather, what will it finally take to prove it one way or the other?